This show is brought to you by the Deluxe Edition Network. Head over to the den.show for other great podcasts.
It burns!
Welcome to another episode of Deluxe Edition, the show where we live to, one day we will get a live show right out of the gate. We won't make any mistakes. You are listening to Deluxe Edition, the show where we love to dig deep and talk about classic pop culture. My name is Bill Seavald, here as always with Mr. Casey Shearer. How are you, sir?
Good, Bill. How are you, buddy?
We were so close to having it look slick. This live thing is pretty fun, but every time it's one little, oh God, we missed it. We screwed up. This time it was just the flipping of our picture because he knows that I lose my shit if things aren't 100% perfect. And nothing is ever 100% perfect on this show. So I don't even know why he does a show with me anymore because I'm just such a pain in his ass. Anyway.
We were so close.
So close. How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. We didn't have a show last week, and I'm sitting here, I'm itching. I'm like, I need to check in on Casey. I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, well, we didn't technically record last week. We didn't record last week, but we did have a show last week. The Batman show came out last week.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like about these live shows. It throws me off because now I don't have to take the week to edit. They're all edited. Hey, guess what? This show is edited right now. It's done. In real time. It's amazing technology.
Done.
Well, you went to didn't you go to the Pensacola Con or something like that?
Yes, I did. The Pensacon.
Yeah, who'd you meet?
Yeah. I met our guest. Our two-time guest, our only two-time guest, Mark Singer, the Beastmaster.
Oh, he was at the show?
Yeah. I shouldn't actually say that. Peter Anthony was a two-time guest also, writer-director of Roseblood.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It was awesome. I met Todd Ketchner from, he's from, he was Champ in Anchorman. Remember him?
What did you say his name was? Isn't it David Ketchner?
Yeah, what did I say it was?
You said Fred Smith. No, David Ketchner. Is one of them. He's a really funny dude. He's on that Goldberg show. If I'm thinking the right guy, yeah, it's definitely the right guy. Every time he's on, he's hysterical. Yeah, you met him? That's cool.
Yeah, he was on The Office, and he was on a show movie a long time ago. I can't remember the name of, but it was a snow white. What do you call those things?
Ski slopes.
Snowboard?
What? Snowboards. Snowboards are curved like you were just, okay, it was more like a horseshoe you were doing.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool,
All right,
man.
so we have some people here. Let's see. We're live here. Stevie McQueen. What's up, brother? How you doing? From across the pond. He's a big Mark Singer. He started listening to us because of Mark Singer. And if you're on Facebook, you're going to have to sign in to whatever, because it just says Facebook user for us here. Hey to you.
What if that's a person's real name?
Jason Summit.
We all don't got cool names like Casey Shearer. Sometimes we're born Facebook user.
Jason Summit would like to know, what the hell are you guys talking about today?
Oh, well, Jason Summit, I'm glad you asked, because today we're going to talk about some horror stuff. We're going to talk about look what I'm wearing today. I'm just like you, Casey. I'm wearing it's a Hawaiian shirt that my wife got me for Christmas. And it's got Jason on it. It's got Freddy. It's got Leatherface. It's got Michael Myers. Huh?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at
There's
that.
a ghoulie on here. Just one ghoulie. Just a head. I said to my wife, when am I ever going to wear this? I said, unless I'm doing a show about horror, and then boom, you're like, let's do a horror show. You know who else is on here? Betty White. Betty White's face is on here.
What?
Did you hear that Betty White? It turns out people were trash talking Betty White. Turns out she was a bitch. Who knew? She's a villain.
I don't believe that for one.
So she made it on my. No, I'm not even making this up. That's true news.
Shut up.
I lie a lot, but no, I read that. I read this. If that's a lie, that's somebody else's lie. That's not my lie. Well,
I don't believe that for 1 second. We have a few more comments here before we get into the show. Jason Summit. David played Cooter in the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Oh, remember that movie? Do you remember that movie? It has Johnny Knoxville and that guy whose fucking name we can never remember. What is that fucking guy's name again? Oh, what is his name?
Oh, Sean
Patrick Flaherty Johnson Smith.
William Scott.
What was it?
Shawn Michael William Scott, I think.
All right. Well, that's the closest we've got to it. And I remember Jessica Simpson was Daisy Duke. That's right. So David Koechner played Cooter. I forgot that.
Oh, that's right. Here's Kyle from Flat Lives. What's up? What's up, brother? He's got a good show, Flat Lives. Check him out. He's from up in Canada.
That's got to be a take on Fletch Lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah, he actually had a YouTube show and a channel, and they took everything down for some reason. He had to start completely fresh. Unfortunate, but happens to the best of us.
Probably showed too much nudity.
Probably. Kyle's known for that.
Mm.
All right, Bill. You want to get into do our plugs quick?
Oh, go for it, sir. Go ahead and do our plugs and then take us right into today's meaty segment.
All right. So if you can see my shirt, we are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network, The Den. There's some great shows over there, the Den.show. Our podcast of the month this month is Real Estate and You. If you're in the market for buying a home, check out Brad's show. Knows a lot. He's been in the game for a long time. You can support our show by going to patreon.com/deluxeeditionpod. There's a bunch of tiers over there that you can check out. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Deluxe Edition Pod. And you can get merch like the shirt that I'm wearing at whatamaneuver.net/collections/deluxe edition.
I got to ask a question. So you set up the merch and you went to a website called What a Maneuver, and they're going to sell our stuff. What a Maneuver? Can you spell maneuver? I can't spell maneuver. Well, I mean, was Etsy one you didn't think of? You went to the hardest website to spell? What a Maneuver. All right.
No, I'm going to tell you, What a Maneuver, a lot of pro wrestlers use What a Maneuver, and they're the best. Dude, you order a shirt, and within the day, they not only have it processed, but it's usually out the door the same day. So it's amazing how fast their turnaround is, and the quality of the shirts is great. And also when we sell a shirt, the amount that we get is a lot better than any other t-shirt company online that I could find. So
sell some shirts.
Take care of their customers.
Yeah. What a Maneuver. We love What a Maneuver. We love money. That's my favorite thing to collect. All right, so what's today's show about, Case? Oh, he's taking a drink and I passed it right to you. We're live. We can't edit. You have to spit that out. You wasted valuable time. I am so sorry I set you up there. Why don't you go back? We'll pretend that didn't happen. We got it. Yeah. Good job. So what's in store for us, Case?
Well, before the show started, Bill had texted me and said, is there anything that you want me to bring up before we get started?
And I missed it right here on my agenda, and I missed it. Go for it, sir.
Completely forgot what we were supposed to talk about, Bill. So we did a bracket a few weeks ago for the best movies of the 80s. And we ran a big game where whoever got the bracket complete, that they were going to win a big prize box. I still have that prize box sitting over here. No one got the bracket exactly correct. However, 2 people did get the final answer, the final movie right. So Bill and I came up with this. I can see the look on his face. He did nothing. I can't lie to you. I tried to lie, but I can't. I came up with this idea. We're going to have our very first guest, Scott Schwartz, come on and play a trivia game against Bill. And it will be another pop culture trivia game. And Scott will be playing for Deb Doherty, and Bill will be playing for our listener, Michael Ortiz.
Oh, man.
So whoever wins out of that gets the prize.
Sorry, Michael. It's floating away already. The prize is right in your fingertips. All right. So how about that? He's actually our very first guest, Mr. Scott Schwartz. Who's actually? Are we allowed to say what? Yeah, because that's public news, right?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could talk about it. So I text Scott, and he's on board, but we can't do the game until after April 1st. He is in Bulgaria right now filming A Christmas Story 2. The big Christmas Story news that came out a couple weeks ago. So yeah, as soon as Scott's back in California, we will be on the way to getting that game out to you.
Why Bulgaria? Wasn't the first one shot in like Ohio or something? Wasn't it supposed to take place in a little U.S. town?
Yeah. I don't know. When I texted him, I was like, hey man, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, it might sound cool, but it's fucking cold here. And he's like, and I have nobody to talk to.
Oh, he's used to the West Coast weather. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right. Are we ready? I'm excited.
All right. Yeah.
We have everything checked. All the boxes are checked. All the plugs are done. We're ready to play.
We have oh yeah. It'll be good. We have a few more comments here. Let's see. Michelle, this is your friend Bill. She's in a bar right now. Cannot hear her Facebook. Where else are you live? YouTube seems to have froze up. Most likely we're on Twitch. We are on Twitter. We are on those and
Facebook. And
yeah, we're at a couple other places.
Michelle's at a bar.
Let's see what Stevie has to say here. One more. That's he's just letting Michelle know.
Everybody's helping each other. This is great. Our community is working together. Michelle is drunk at a bar. She can't figure out how to listen to us. But Steven came in and saved the day.
He likes your shirt there too, Bill.
Thank you, Steven. Yeah, it's a great shirt.
All right. So we had a huge prize package for that last bracket. This package isn't as big, but it's I think equally as cool. This will be the giveaway for the bracket, and we're gonna do something a little different here this week. If your bracket matches Bill's exactly, and we're gonna go through everything here today, and then I'll post the link where you can fill out your bracket and take a screenshot and post it to our just make sure I get it somehow, our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook group, wherever. But this is our prize for today. Since it's horror, we're going to do a horror bracket. I have from the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs, a Darcy the Mail Girl, and Ernie action figure. You can see that. There's a little iguana Ernie there, their mascot. And then we have an Elvira keychain from Funko Pops, the pop figures. Elvira, the horror hostess with the mostest.
That's pretty cool. How do we get a mascot? She's got an iguana mascot. What do we got?
I don't know. If anyone would like to be our mascot, let us know.
We're in search.
Dogs could.
Oh yeah, they're back there yelping. They want to be the mascot. Pay attention to me. Take me out. Feed me. Jeez, if they knew what they were putting me through. They have no idea. If I knew dogs needed to eat, I wouldn't have taken this job on. They eat all the time. I'm buying some time for you to. owning a dog is as hard, if not harder, owning a kid. That's a whole different job. All right, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
So should I just run down through the movies and then break down the bracket?
Yeah, you can do it like last time. I thought that worked really well, and I definitely want to hear about the ones that, at some point, whether it's now or after, let's not forget, I want to hear the ones that didn't get enough votes.
Sure. Yeah, I'll have to find that in my notes, but yeah, I have it somewhere.
Just make them up. It's this show. I mean, nothing's thought through in advance.
Yeah, we were supposed to start at 6 o'clock. I was like, fuck, I forgot to write down the bracket.
That's what you get for free, folks.
All right, here we go. So, first movie, Bill. The Exorcist. One of the most profitable horror movies ever made, this tale of an exorcism is based loosely on actual events. Linda Blair, very young in this movie, Reagan, starts acting odd, levitating, speaking in tongues. Her mother, Ellen Burstyn, seeks medical help only to hit a dead end. Local priest, however, thinks the girl may be seized by the devil. Released December 26, 1973, directed by William Friedkin, starring Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, Lee Cobb, Kitty Wynn, Jack McGowan, Jason Miller, Linda Blair, written by William Peter Blatty, and made a box office take home of $441 million.
Damn. You know who else was in it? You know who else was in it?
Who?
Satan. Satan was in it. Did you ever see this movie? Were you a fan of this one?
I never saw this one.
To me, I grew up and it was like, it was the most terrifying movie. So, as a kid in the 80s, I'm like, I'm staying the fuck away from it. I've seen enough, like, I'm more familiar with people making fun of the movie. Like there's always a scene in a funny horror movie where somebody's head spins around and they vomit out pea soup and they levitate. Like there's so many parodies of Exorcist that I don't even know if I've ever seen the real one because I've seen a billion parodies of The Exorcist.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, and then I know they made sequels of that too, and I think it was another one where it was like, oh man, why are they doing this? But somebody told me the third one is actually really good. And there's still like Exorcist stuff coming out, so I don't know. Somebody's into this stuff. Yeah. Devil possession, all that stuff. It's never been my cup of tea.
Yeah, not for me. This was actually number one on our list. This got the most votes as in our group as the best horror movie, as voted by our group.
Our group? You sure?
Yeah.
Better taste than that.
Real quick, we got to jump in here with the comments. This is for you, Bill. Brian Lyons.
Yo, Brian Lyons.
And Jason says something here. Exorcist still scares the hell out of me, and he's 49.
Yeah. Well, Care Bears still scare me, so you can be proud of the things that scare you. We're all human.
All right, Bill. Next up on the list, Halloween. We've talked about Halloween before, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to give the description?
Everybody, look, if you listen to our show, you know the movie Halloween. Yeah. You know the movie
Halloween. Released October 25th, 1978. Directed John Carpenter, Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls. Budget of $300,000 and a box office of between $60 to $70 million.
Yeah, I love it. I know it, and it was a bomb too. It was one of those like, oh man, that's it. There goes everything. We're done in Hollywood. It's over. And it was like that slow like growth. People started talking about it. They were saying it was like the most disgusting and horrific movie. Don't even go. It's total trash. And they were like, fuck, we're done. Like that was it. And the movie boomerangs right back and becomes huge. I mean, that's right. You keep forgetting your job of flashing the movie.
I have so much posters going on here.
You're like a juggler. This is your idea to stream. I didn't want to do any of this. I never even wanted to have my face on camera. I wanted to do a proper podcast. So, deal with it.
I even went through and put these all in order because, like, the last couple times we did this, I was like scrambling to find where they were. I was like, oh, I can move these around. I put them all in order today, and then I forgot.
Oh, well, you'll forget again. Right. Don't worry. So circling back to Halloween 2, because I did this on the last time we did the brackets. This is going to be a tough one.
First Halloween.
As well. Maybe I meant it that way. I don't know what I was saying. But this is going to be one of the harder ones to beat for me. Like, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Top 5, probably, and not even just in horror. I think this movie is that creative and that good, especially with that tiny budget that they had to work with, and everybody kind of came together, and it was just this, killer little rock band unit trying to put together a different type of movie, and they totally nailed it.
Yeah. Getting a lot of comments coming in here.
We're all flying in. We're gonna have to learn how to, totally not get distracted by these.
I wish there was a way that they could automatically come in, so I don't have to keep checking over here.
I see. Here's what I did. I said on Facebook. I said every comment will get read by Casey. I think I'm gonna have to take that away because they're coming way too fast. I think you're just gonna have to cherry pick them, Case.
All right. Shatner mask it up. Yeah, that's something that maybe somebody might not know. The Halloween mask was actually an original William Shatner mask from Star Trek, right?
Yeah. It's like, hey, we need something. What should we put the killer in? I don't know. Go to the store. Guy goes to the store and he comes back with a William Shatner mask. They rip off the sideburns and they spray it white and they kind of screw with the hair a little bit and they're like, there you go. There's your killer. You're kidding. Yeah. Michael Myers could have just as easily been, Leonard Nimoy. Wouldn't that be weird? Michael Myers had like pointy ears.
Yeah, that would be weird. Hey, we should do a fan film. Make it a Leonard Nimoy mask. All right. Next up, Friday the 13th, Part 1. I'm not going to read the description. We've talked about Friday the 13th extensively on this podcast. Released May 9th, 1980, directed by Sean Cunningham, starring Betsy Palmer, Adrienne King, Harry Crosby, Laurie Bartram, Mark Nelson, Jeannie Taylor, Robbie Morgan, and Kevin Bacon, I believe, was his first role. Budget of $550,000 and made a $59.8 million at the box office.
I think Animal House and this were right about the same time. I don't know which one was his first role, but I remember they were kind of at about the same time. So, you know me. I love Jason Voorhees and all that stuff, all of it. The first movie is great, but it doesn't have Jason, so it's not like one on my list. Like I wouldn't vote for this as my favorite one. It's a great movie. It's completely inspired by Halloween. It's like I gotta be Halloween. It did so well. Let's go in and try to make the same kind of movie. Like Sean Cunningham can pretty much say that's what inspired us. Good job. You remembered to flash the picture on screen. But no, it's another really good movie. Of all those kind of, they're not grindhouse movies, but those lower budget, ragtag groups putting together horror movies. Of all of those, there's some real bombs that came out at that time, following Halloween. Yeah. But this one was a pretty good one. Like this was a tight, movie, good script, good suspense. It was, it was a slasher movie. There wasn't a ton of gore like there is now, but it was a lot more frightening. So it won for me. It's a good movie, but it's not going to be my favorite Friday the 13th.
Not only that, 12 sequels, right? 12 sequels, a TV series, action figures. I mean, tons of shit, right?
Yeah. Is there 12? I'm trying to think. Did they really hit 13? I think we're counting Jason versus Freddy as one, maybe.
Oh, okay.
See, we just sound a great fan, and now I can't answer like something that all fans probably know. I suck.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's check the comments.
I better take this shirt off. Whoa, we got spam. Naked HD, XYZ.com will satisfy your wishes. This is great. We're getting spammed.
Jason Summit. His sister would not call him Jason when we were kids because of Friday the 13th. She'd call him Jay. She was that scared of the movie, she would not call her own brother Jason.
Yeah, wow. Oof. I wonder if anybody had a brother named Jaws and didn't call him, gave him a different name. Ba-doom-psh.
Anything else anything else to say about Friday the 13th?
No, because I'm curious to hear what other Friday the 13th are coming up. If any. Ooh.
All right. Up next, Evil Dead. 1981 supernatural horror written and directed by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert Tappert, executive produced by Raimi, Tappert, and Bruce Campbell, who also starred. The movie opened in 15 theaters and grossed only $108,000 in its opening weekend. Word of mouth later spread, and the film became a sleeper hit, and it grossed over $2 million domestically, nearly 8 times its production budget. You a fan of The Evil Dead, Bill?
Kinda. So, first time I saw it, I was in college. It was like mid-90s, and I know it's an older movie than that, but I didn't get it at first. I was like, okay, they just wanted to be the goriest movie, and I'd already been a fan of something called Evil Dead Alive, if you've ever seen that, which is directed by, goddamn, what's his name? The guy that did Lord of the Rings. He used to do all these horror movies. And I'm pretty sure he did Dead Alive. And that was like the goriest movie. So by the time Evil Dead came around, it's like, this is the goriest movie you'll ever see. I'm like, ain't no dead alive. No, sir. You like that? I'm going to bring that voice back every show. That was a good voice. Hire me, Hollywood. You know you need that voice.
I'm sorry I keep forgetting this. I have a lot going on. Here's the banner for Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead. Great movie. I went with you to the Mahoning Drive-In to see Bruce Campbell. I've seen him at 2 other cons, I think. Bruce Campbell might be the celebrity I've given the most money to.
You just walk up and, hey, what's up, Bruce? Here's a 50.
Dude,
just want you to have it.
Ridiculous.
He's the one I've given the most money to.
You and I paid what, $60? How much was that? $60, $80 to go and stand 6 feet away from him at the Mahoning Drive-In during COVID.
Well, man, I'm glad you said you gave most of your money to him and not like a cam girl or something.
No, I did not. Anything else to say about the Evil Dead, Bill?
No, but there's another one that I'm hoping is also on the list, which I believe is better. So I'm gonna hold comment.
See what Michelle says. Evil Dead was generally the first horror movie I was disturbed by. The tree rape, the tree, that is a disturbing scene. The second one had me in stitches. All right.
She's writing an essay. She's got War and Peace written here in the comments.
I apologize. Oh. She's drunk. Yes. Dead Alive, directed by Peter Jackson.
Thank you. Yeah. See, I was coming out of my mouth. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to say something wrong. I know, like, there's a % chance I'm wrong, and I have no faith in myself anymore.
All right. Next up in the list, Bill, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When Sally hears that her grandfather's grave may have been vandalized, she and her paraplegic brother Franklin set out to investigate. After a detour to their family's old farmhouse, they discover a group of crazed, murderous outcasts living next door. Released October 1st, 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper, budget of $80,000, box office of $30 million, and narrated by John Larroquette. A lot of people don't know that because he's uncredited for it.
Yeah, I watched the new. You know how they're doing that? Oh God, I wrote a little essay about that new Chainsaw Massacre movie, but they did the same thing too. They had John Larroquette back to do the voice, and it's like, oh, that's cute. But everything they've done since the first movie, it's never touched the first movie. The first movie is like a standalone, in a lot in the same way that Friday the 13th is a standalone movie of just like amazing achievement. So is this, but the achievement is different. Like, it's still raw, gritty filmmaking, but it's a completely different type of feel. It's a shit ton scarier. Like, it doesn't feel like somebody's telling you a story. It doesn't feel like there's a narrative. It feels like you're watching lost footage, right? Because it's just shot so shaky. It's like that 16 millimeter film or whatever they did. Oh my God. And then they would just have those scenes of like Leatherface chasing her forever and ever. Yeah. Still chasing her. Holy shit. It's been 30 minutes. He's still chasing her. 45 minutes go by. Somebody better get somebody. Like, it goes on for a real long time. That's an intense movie.
Yeah, this is a scary movie. I only recently just watched this, and I haven't completely gotten through the whole thing yet because it's on it's on the Last Drive-In thing. Because I like how he, tells you different things about the movie when you're watching it. I put this movie off for a long time because I started watching this, a long time ago, and this was a scary fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. It's torture porn. It's all the stuff I typically don't like, but he's an interesting character. Like, one of the things I said in my essay, and maybe I'll find a way to link it somewhere because I thought it was a pretty smart essay. But like, he's the only one of the horror monsters that I like that's actually human. Because everybody else, like Jason, isn't really human at the end. Freddy, but he is. He's just like, he could really happen, and I think that's what disturbs me about him. That's why I don't like to really root for a guy who could be real. I like the fantasy monsters, but yeah, man, I don't think the second one's going to make the list. Just give me a nod if we can talk about the second one now. Yes, okay. So when Tobe Hooper came back and they were like, listen, this first one made a shit ton of money. We want another one. He's like, I wanted to do a different style of movie. I wasn't really thinking of doing another Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they were like, how about this? You can do that style with your original movie. So the second movie is a lot like Evil Dead 2. It's funny. It's funny horror. It's that perfect 80s horror. I actually like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 better than the first one. I saw it first, and it scared me first, before I saw the original. But when I saw the original, I was like, oh, God. I thought I was all tough because I saw the second one. Because the second one's always supposed to be, like, better than the first. No, the first is still the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Ugh.
Yeah.
Blech. Next to Dead Alive.
Yeah, it's a scary movie, man. I'm trying to find. Joe Bob said something the other night when I was watching this. Ed Neal, the guy that's in the opening scene, the hitchhiker. Joe Bob told a story about how someone like a very famous director saw that movie and he liked Ed Neal's performance so much in that he just hired him for like his next movie just based on seeing that performance. Like no audition was needed or anything. Like he just brought him in.
Yeah. Well, I always wonder about those kind of movies. Like, they start with like good intentions. It's like, we're going to have this big long plan. We're going to vet everybody out. And then you hear about the movie at the end. It's like, we just took the first guy that walked in. He's like, somebody sent us this thing. We're like, you're in. You're now the star. How come that doesn't happen to me? I'm never walking down Walmart and someone's like, that. You.
One day, Bill.
You're going to be in my next movie.
One day. The Rant, Herman James, a member of our the Deluxe Edition network, the Den. Michael Myers is a real person too, Bill.
Yeah. I've seen him. He's
you didn't mention him though. He's calling you out.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I guess that's true. Yeah, see, in my head, I counted those stupid, like, when he became like he was part of a cult. Like, I don't know how much you know about Halloween, but it kept going south, and then he was just like, you can't kill the guy. You know what? I'm gonna argue. I don't think Herman's right, because there's no way that a human being could stab somebody and lift them up a wall. I mean, the guy who lifted up the wall, that was a tall guy. All right, Casey, how much do you weigh? Casey. See, this guy was as big as Casey. So I'm telling you, most people can't get shot twice, fall out of a window, land on the ground, and get up and walk away. So I'm not so sure he was a real guy.
Yeah, Demon. But there's no explanation that he wasn't a real guy. He was a real person.
Once.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that, Urban. All right, I got.
How do you censor the comments?
Some of these comments. I can't see some of these comments before I click on them. All right, next up, Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven's classic slasher. Several teenagers fall prey to Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund, who is a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on teenagers in their dream, which in turn kills them in reality. After investigating the phenomenon, Nancy, who's played by Heather Langenkamp, begins to suspect a dark secret kept by her and her friend's parents may be the key to unraveling the mystery. But can Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn, who's played by Johnny Depp, solve the puzzle before it's too late? Release date November 16th, 1984, directed by Wes Craven. Budget of $1.1 million, and he made $57 million on this. Had 8 sequels, a television series, novels, and comic books, all kinds of action figures. Were you a fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Bill?
Yeah, do you remember the G.I. Joe character?
No.
See, I went to the gotcha.
Wait.
All kinds of action figures. Wait. What kind of action figures were there?
Wait, what?
I'm totally lying. You're like, they made all kinds of action figures. I'm like, I don't remember playing with my Freddy Krueger along with my my Duke and Scarlet toys.
You telling me there's not a NECA action? NECA,
you're calling that an action figure?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I always think of those. Yeah, I guess they are. Oh, he's going for one. I guess you can call that an action figure. I guess they're full of action.
No, this is a Friday the 13th action figure.
And here's how stupid I'm going to sound, because I own like 8 of them. So I guess I own Friday the... I'm going to walk away from this one. What are we talking about? No, Freddy Krueger. Yeah,
Nightmare
great movie.
on Elm Street.
Just the greatest. I mean, I say everyone's the greatest, and the reality is the last one that I say is the greatest is the greatest. This is the greatest one. This one was awesome. I remember being a little kid in elementary school, and this kid Rich told me, he's like, man, I saw this movie. I said, man, I can't fucking go to sleep. Why? Well, because you dream, And this guy, he gets you in your fucking dreams. He gets you in your dreams. You don't say it out loud. He might hear you. I think he's real. And I just remember it was like, that's terrifying. What a killer idea. It's perfect for how old was I? God, I was probably 10. It's perfect. It's like, this should be a movie for a 10-year-old. And then you see it and you're like, ooh, that's scary. I'll never sleep again. That's a great movie.
Michelle watched it when she was 9. She knows the back of her ad.
I think she meant the right hand, but she's so drunk at that bar. Don't worry, I've been able to read Michelle speak. I'm her translator. I'll get it.
So when your friend Rich told you about this movie, how long did you wait before you watched it? Did you go home and watch it, or did you wait like years before you watched it because you didn't want to be afraid?
No, I went for it. So I actually saw the second one before I saw the first one. I remember going to my friend Jim's house, and he had it. I'm like, yo, let's watch it. Our parents would, they'd talk in the kitchen. It was a little suburban neighborhood. Just every house had a kitchen right next to a family room. We would all watch the VHS tapes on the TV, and we turned them down just enough so our parents couldn't notice that we were, watching these things with nudity and gore and all that. So we're watching part 2, and I'm like, what the? Part 2 is nobody likes part 2. I love part 2 because it is such like my introduction to Freddy. But for part 2 was like forgotten. But then I saw part 1, and I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it now. I've gone to LA. I've driven by the house because I love that movie so much. Could you imagine like owning a house like Freddy Krueger's house, and every time you just look out the window, there's like people going, "Hey, that's the house." Hey, that's the house. That's a pretty iconic house.
I don't know anything about the Freddy Krueger house, but I don't know what it's like to own it, but I know what it's like to drive up to someone's house when they're sitting outside of it, like a famous movie house. And they're like, oh, here comes another fucking person looking at my house. When I was, I travel for work.
Yeah.
So I was in LA, and my buddy Dustin was with me. I was training Dustin, and he was like, so what do you do like when you're not working? I was like, just drive around, check things out, So we went to all the Karate Kid scenes, like all the different Karate Kid things. So we went to where Elizabeth Shue, where her house was. And there's just a guy sitting on his porch, and he's like, here comes some fucking guys looking at my house again.
Wait a minute. So it wasn't even Elizabeth Shue? It was like her husband?
No, it was the movie. It was the house from the movie. Elizabeth's like her house in the movie where Daniel picked her up at. The movie house.
Yeah, all right.
Like
you threw me off. This is your fault.
Freddy Krueger's house in the movie? Like
yes.
the movie house?
We're on the same page.
I don't know where Elizabeth Shue lives.
I swear you took me into another conversation. I think you just set me up there.
So stupid. All right, next up in our list, The Shining. Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance, becomes winter caretaker at the isolated Overlook Hotel in Colorado, hoping to cure his writer's block. He settles in with his wife, Shelley Duvall, son, Danny. Plagued by psychic premonitions, Jack's writings go nowhere. Danny's visions become more disturbing. Released May 23rd, 1980, directed by Stanley Kubrick, stars Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman Crothers, Danny Lloyd. When I was doing the research on this, he made this movie for $19 million, and they made $47 million. Now, are you familiar with The Shining?
Sure, yeah.
What did he spend $19 million on?
Jack Nicholson.
Like there were some like big like special effects like at some points, like one or two, but
what do you think Scatman Crothers was going for? I mean, he wasn't working for cheap.
I would give Scatman more.
Man, what a name. Sometimes it's like, I think, if my mom had named me something better, maybe I would have made it in Hollywood. If she had named me Scatman. I'm the Scatman. That was my scatting.
Okay. Are you a
Want
fan
more?
of the? No, I don't. Are you a fan of The Shining, Bill?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. We were just talking about a couple episodes ago. We were talking about how we thought it was interesting that Stephen King hated this take. I thought it was good. I walked out of it going, well, that's pretty fucking incredible. That's a great movie. But it's not, you know me. I'm more of a fantasy type of monster movie guy. So the ghost thing doesn't really get me. I like to see a ugly monster in the flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, The Shining, great movie. I love Stanley Kubrick. I went to the that hotel where a lot of that was filmed in Colorado.
Was it really on like a big long path like the movie? Or was that
no.
film? Yeah, they
Absolutely
mashed.
not. No, it's right off the highway.
Isn't that crazy how you see that? Like my
Yeah.
wife, one time she took me to go. She loves Grease 2. Nobody loves Grease 2. She loves Grease 2. So we went to see the school for Grease 2 when we were out in L.A. It was the same day we saw Freddy's house. And like right across the street is like a strip mall. And it's like, well, how did they hide that? So just for shits and giggles, I went back and I watched the movie, and they had a couple school buses blocking the camera view of the thing across. And I remember we're walking around and we're like, should we look in? And there's like homeless people all over the place. And we're like, is this the school? Like, is it even an open school? We weren't even sure. But it's interesting. There's when you go to some of these, we've talked about it when you did the, oh no, Michelle likes Grease too. No. Michelle and my wife are friends. It's like when you were talking about the set that you went to, the Shawshank Redemption set.
Yeah.
It is so much fun to go to movie sets.
Yeah.
So you were talking at one point because you found that guy Adam the Woo, right? Adam the Woo is a YouTuber. If you guys haven't checked this out, there's a bunch like him where he goes to these movie sets, and it is so damn fun to watch. Like he'll go to the cabin of Part 4 Friday the 13th. It'll go and he'll show you. He's like, see this brick? This is the brick that was in this scene, and now the house is destroyed, but you can still. Yeah, that's a heck of a lot of fun. Sorry to just completely go on a rant there.
All good. Going back to we missed this. You all know what The Shining looks like. Going back to saying stuff like that. The Evil Dead we talked about. I actually was in. I think they filmed that in Kentucky, a lot of it, and I actually went looking for the place where they filmed it. It's like all grown over now. You can't even get back to the cabin. But I've read Bruce Campbell's books, a couple of his books, and he talks about where they filmed and stuff. And he said that they went to this little diner, for like the rap party. So I went to that diner, and there's a picture of them all like really young on the wall at the diner, which is pretty neat.
Great. That's cool. Do you remember that when we went to that, you were talking earlier about the time we met Bruce? Remember there was a stand there, and I bought a bag, and it was a piece of chopped wood, and it was supposed to be it was a piece of wood from the original cabin of Part 2. And I just like blindly went, yeah, that's probably real. I still have that, and I treasure it. And I'm like,
It was so funny. So Bill and I went to this. It was a double screening of Evil Dead, right, or something at the Mahoning Drive-In. It was a weekend, a Bruce Campbell weekend. So they played a bunch of Bruce Campbell, and they had a bunch of vendors there and everything. And Bill's like hanging over by this stand for a while, and I go over, and he's like trying to quick get it. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Fuck!" He's like, I didn't want you to see that I was buying this piece of wood that's supposed to be."
I'm like, I know I'm falling for bullshit, but just in case.
You fucking went picked that up in the woods by the Mahoning Drive-In before you set up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it looks like a piece of mulch. I bought it. He took a scoop of mulch and I bought it. It really is the size of two marbles, two dye glued together. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I fell right for it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take it.
Up next in our list, Black Christmas, Bill. You like how I did that?
No, now you're getting good. Now you're getting good. You put it right up.
As winter break begins, a group of sorority sisters, including Jess, played by Olivia Hussey, and the often inebriated Barb, played by Margot Kidder, begin to receive anonymous phone calls initially. Initially, Barb eggs the caller on, but stops when he responds threateningly. Soon, Barb's friend goes missing from the sorority house, and a local adolescent girl is murdered, leading the girls to suspect a serial killer is on the loose. No one realizes just how close the culprit is. December 20th, 1974, directed by Bob Clark. Budget of $620,000. It made $4.1 million at the box office. Do you know what else Bob Clark directed, Bill?
Mm-mm.
Wrote and directed?
Mm-mm.
A Christmas Story.
Are you kidding? I don't think I do that.
Yep.
So Black Christmas and A Christmas Story.
Yep.
Same writer, same director.
Same writer,
same person.
Director. Same person.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like when you hear like Dr. Seuss really never liked kids, or it's hard to believe that somebody who could write the Christmas Story could write something as dark as Black Christmas. Wow. All right.
You like this movie?
Yeah, and you know what? We talked about it a couple shows ago, and I had never seen it before, so I went and I watched it, and I said, "Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It was a fine slasher, but by now it's like, yeah, you can see it all coming." But Margot Kidder, yeah, she was the best playing the drunk woman. She was,
yeah,
I like her because I've only known her really as Lois Lane, and then all of a sudden she's in this, and I was like, wow, that's cool. That's fun.
It turns out that's pretty much how her life was, though. She was I think, an alcoholic and committed suicide.
Oh my God, I hope you have that right. I mean, that's some terrible.
Sure. Yeah, it didn't end good for Margot. Yeah. I liked this movie. It was really good. I watched it on Shudder on the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs. So he breaks it down with a lot of the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I thought it was great how it was so like the guy was in the attic the whole time. He was just calling. It was pretty much basically the first Scream, right? He was calling him from inside the house. Wasn't that how Scream was?
I can't remember. Was it like that the whole time? I don't remember.
I don't remember Scream that well.
Did you see the new Scream? I didn't even care.
No.
I was like, I don't give a shit. No. You guys can scream all you want. I'm not going to listen.
No, not one bit. All right, up next. We're running out of time here. I know Bill likes to keep a very tight schedule.
Yes, very tight.
Evil Dead 2.
Now we're talking.
The second of 3 films in the franchise, part horror, part comedy. Bruce Campbell once again battling the horrifying demons. Released March 13th, 1987. Directed once again by Sam Raimi. $3.5 million budget this time, and they made $10.9 at the box office. Had a sequel, Army of the Darkness, a reboot, which was the movie reboot. I never saw that one. That also a series, Ash versus Evil Dead. There's a new movie coming soon, which I believe is a continuation, and tons of comic books, action figures, and great movie. Talk to me about Evil Dead 2, because I have a couple questions that you might be able to answer.
Well, I hope so. I wasn't on the production, but I'll see what I can do for you, sir. No, this is, and I love Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's doing the new. I love that he's in Marvel now. He's doing the new Doctor Strange. Like, there's so much curiosity on what it's going to be like with him in it, because he really sees things a weird way when it comes to like these. Keep a movie on the tracks but still bend reality a bit. He's great at these kind of movies. So, of course, he's great at Evil Dead 2, because it's like, this is total bullshit. And at some point he must have been like, how do we really one up our last movie? How do we make something that really is like we're being haunted by nothing? Because that's what the Evil Dead is. It's like, it's nothing. It's just it's like the same thing that was coming after him in a Neverending Story. But then they're like, all right, well, let's make it a little funnier, and they added a lot more gags to it. And at some point, they must have all been drunk. They must have been hammered. And Sam Raimi goes, what would be real funny? Let's remake the movie, this time with Three's Company antics. That must have been what they did. Because it's like Evil Dead 1 meets a did I say Three's Company? I meant Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Three Stooges, not Three's Company. Could you imagine they were inspired by Jack Tripper? Evil Dead 2 was inspired by Three's Company. Write it down.
That's what I wanted to ask you. So this was basically the same movie again, just a continuation, because they were going to make a continuation of it, but they couldn't get the rights to the first movie. Is from what I heard, correct?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I guess I assumed, because you got to think about distribution back then. Like, there weren't these broad domestic distribution channels, right? So people who heard it probably heard it in regions. So they were probably like, hey, we can make another one, and totally steal the ideas for the first one, and no one's going to know, because it's not like one day we're going to have VHS tapes and the whole world is suddenly going to be connected by something called the internet. Oops.
Right.
That was always my guess, but yeah, maybe it was. It's kind of like they do with Spotify now. Yeah, because I'll like, let's go listen to some Def Leppard. Then you hear like a Def Leppard song like redone with them now, and you're like, ooh, having trouble hitting those notes. So maybe it was like one of those kind of things where they didn't have the rights and they had to remake it so that they could have the rights. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, because if you watch, it's basically the exact same movie in the beginning again. Like it's him and his friends going to the cabin again, right?
Pretty much.
It's the whole opening and everything again.
Yeah.
Because if you look into that, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. They sold the movie and they couldn't get the rights. Like they couldn't get the footage to use for the beginning of the second one. So they just basically remade the entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how business goes.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. Priest. No. I'm sorry, bud. I can't give away the list. All right. Up next, The Thing. In remote Antarctica, a group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. When they take in the dog, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp, and they discover that the beast can assume the shape of its victims. Kurt Russell and the camp doctor, played by Richard Dysart, lead the camp crew in a desperate, gory battle against the vicious creature before it picks them all off one by one. Released June 25th, 1982, directed by John Carpenter. Budget of $15 million, and they only made $19 million on this. You like this movie?
I do, and the reason I like it, I love most things John Carpenter does. I love Kurt Russell because he did a lot of stuff with John Carpenter. And this movie nailed it, right? This was the grossest movie for a while with a monster, so I'm into it. And doing it in the snow, like the whole time, because I think it was like Antarctica or something. Maybe all this was happening, 2 miles down from Santa Claus at the North Pole. I don't know. The whole thing was like icy, and you felt like you were trapped. You can't run. Where the fuck are you going to go? It's snow. Snow everywhere. So like that was an extra element of fear. It was great filmmaking that captured all that. Shooting in those elements must have been brutal. Imagine how bitchy everybody was on that set. My fear called. Shut up. But yeah, it's a great movie.
Wilford Brimley was also in it. Yeah, that was a great movie, man. The monsters, the special effects in that for 1982, they're great. The monsters and all that. I just watched it the other day for the first time. Really good special effects. When that thing, if you haven't seen it, I apologize, but when that monster, when it's just the head like upside down with the spider, that shit was awesome. And then how it, like, there was a little bit of comedy in that movie also, because like they're all standing there watching one thing, and then the spider like goes walking out behind them, and they're all like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was a good one. All right, up next, the original It, the 2-part horror drama miniseries. We can consider this a movie, right, Bill?
Yeah, I guess so. TV movie.
They've put it together now. It was a two-part thing, but so the story revolves around a monster that can transform itself into its prey's worst fears, allowing it to exploit the phobias of its victims. It mostly takes the humanoid form of Pennywise, a darkly comedic clown. It's a group called the Lucky Seven, or the Losers Club, a group of outcast kids who discover Pennywise and vow to kill him by any means necessary. First part is when they're kids. Second part is 30 years later, to try and defeat him. Stephen King, originally released November 18th and November 20th, 1990.
And it had, of course, Jack Tripper come and knock on my door.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked it. I remember seeing it in pieces and never really getting to understand the full story until probably like 10 years ago. So it's not one that's going to be like, whoa, that shook me up as a kid. But I know a lot of people really, really like that movie.
Yeah. I think I've only ever seen it in pieces. I don't ever think I've like sat and watched the entire thing in full.
Yeah, it's got good scenes. I mean, for a TV movie, they at the time it came out, there's surprisingly good special effects. Like they're bad, but they took a stab. They were like, we're gonna really. There's a scene with a spider. It's like we're really gonna try and nail this. That's ambitious. That's when you look at something on paper and then like nobody raises their hand and say this is probably impossible. They all just sign off on it. Next thing you know, they're like, we're gonna try to build this fucking thing for a TV budget. I don't know what their budget was, but yeah, it was a pretty cool movie. The remake, because I usually don't like remakes. The remake was great. I loved the new It. I didn't love the sequel to the new It. I forgot everything about the sequel to the new It. But that sequel, did you see them? Did you see any of the remakes?
I saw the first one. I never saw the second one yet.
Yeah, no. I don't know. If you ever read the book, I haven't read the book, but everybody tells me like it's like even more just horrifying. Like Stephen King's a sick dude. Somebody should arrest him. Sick dude. I mean, some of the stuff in the original story never made it into either one of these movies because he should be in jail. Nobody wants to go to jail. We're all pretending he didn't write what he wrote.
I won't disagree with you there. All right, let's just check these comments quick. Michelle, It, King novel. What does this mean, Bill? Maybe you know.
Stephen King novel? I don't know.
King novel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It's thick. It's long. I read it. Tim Curry, yeah, did great.
He was
great.
good.
And
he was great in it. He was really good in it. Yeah. I like the new guy, Sarsgaard, whatever his name is, but yeah, but see,
he's a good actor.
I don't know this guy, and I'm already making fun of his last name. I'm such a dick.
Peter Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. It's just fun to say Skarsgård.
Should we try and get him on the podcast so we can say that? Hello, Peter Skarsgård.
You can like, oh, where do I hang up?
All right, next up, Bill. Let's see if I can do this. Jaws.
Great movie.
We don't need to talk about. Everybody knows what Jaws is. We've had Joe Alves on the book. On the book. We've had Joe Alves on the show. Make sure you go back and watch that interview. I get fucked up here with my things, but I have a drawing here I ordered from Joe Alves. Fucking awesome, like actual from the movie, like the stills, not the stills, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like
I love just letting you go.
Storyboard. Fuck you. Storyboard.
Yeah, storyboards, right?
I'm panicking.
We're live. We'll do it live.
Released June 20th, 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Roy Schneider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Lorraine Gary, and Murray Hamilton. Budget of $9 million, and they made $472 million at the box office. Richard Dreyfuss was at that Pensacon.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
His line was packed every time I walked by. His line was packed. Couldn't get anywhere near it.
I wonder if he retired or they retired him. He was really good.
Yeah.
He just went away. Uh-oh. Michelle's
like
telling
Jaws?
me to read the book. Read the book and you'll learn. Oh, no, Michelle. Michelle, you're at a bar. You're drunk. You know better than to try to tell me to read.
If you read the 1,037 page book, you know it won't come across clearly in the two movies.
All right. Thanks, Michelle. I got all the eyes. Man, I hate reading. You know what? By the way, the greatest thing in the world? Audiobooks. They are the greatest.
They're good.
I'm never going to read a book again, Michelle. The audiobooks are bust.
Especially when it's read by the author, like by the person that wrote the book.
Yeah.
You know, this doesn't have anything to do with horror movies, but do you know about Artie Lang's audiobook?
No, what?
You know, Artie Lang, the famous Howard Stern co-host and famous heroin user, alcoholic, everything. He wrote the book, and he was supposed to do the audio book, but he was that fucked up that he couldn't do it. So he hired like other famous comedians to read chapters of the book.
Mm. I like you called him a famous heroin addict. Like, oh, shit. Huh? I guess you are. What are you famous for? Heroin.
Michelle claims she is a little tipsy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Bill. Alien. Directed by Ridley Scott. Written by Dan O'Bannon. Film stars Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Ian Holm, and Yaphet Kota. Based on a story, follows the crew of the commercial space tug Nostromo, who encounter the
I love when you read. It's so much fun.
I can't read. They follow a fucking alien, okay? Do you like Alien, Bill?
I do. It's okay. This is, unfortunately, it falls into that same thing as I've seen people make fun of it so much more often than I actually saw the movie, like Spaceballs. Spaceballs has that scene at the end when the alien pops out of the chest. I think it's the same actor as actually in Alien. And it's like, I've seen that so many times that by the time I saw Alien, I was waiting for it. I was like, I'm underwhelmed because my imagination was, it took me a lot further. And I also think I saw Aliens before I saw Alien. I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago too. Like, that is such a different movie and such a bigger and frankly I think better movie that it's like it's hard to watch sometimes the better version to go back to the original. Sure. I wish I didn't. I wish I always saw things in order the way they were meant to be seen, but I screwed up as a kid. Fucked up.
Yeah, you were a fucked up kid, Bill. All right, next up in the list here, we have two more. And then we'll break down the bracket, and then we'll move along with the day. Carrie. Withdrawn and sensitive teen Carrie White, played by Sissy Spacek, faces taunting from classmates at school and abuse from her fanatically pious mother, Piper Laurie, at home. When strange occurrences start happening around Carrie, she begins to suspect that she has supernatural powers. William Catt is in the movie. John Travolta's in the movie. Released November 3rd, 1976. Directed by Brian De Palma. Made with $1.8 million and box office of $33.8 million. 2 sequels and a reboot. You a fan of Carrie?
Yeah, love it. It's the greatest. Just like, remember my rule.
Everyone.
One of the cool things that I know is, or I've heard is, I guess there was a bunch of directors that hung out together, right? Spielberg and Lucas De Palma, right? And when they're trying to cast the movie, I guess what happened is they had a cast for Carrie, but George Lucas wasn't into his cast, and they swapped casts. That's what I heard. So I heard like Carrie Fisher was supposed to be, I guess, Sissy Spacek. Sissy Spacek was supposed to be Princess Leia. So I don't know if that's true. I hope it's true because I've always believed it. But yeah, so the movie's just brilliant. Everything about that movie is great. It's put together perfectly. It's got like shocking scenes, but it's got like, it also has like some of the best performances ever. I loved this movie so much for a period of time that when and William Catt was also on America's Greatest Hero. When we went to some event, you and I'm standing next to William Catt, I couldn't talk. Yeah. I was so froze. I was like, it's him. And he's looking at me, he's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like,
I'm like, go talk to him.
I couldn't. I was. I didn't want to be that guy. I was too nervous. And I was so weird. I was creepy because I was getting like closer to him. Like, what did I want to do? Smell him? I just wanted to like be in his presence. Yeah, this was a big movie for me growing up.
I've never seen it.
I know they made that sequel, like the 90s version or something. It's stupid. And the remake, I don't even think I saw the remake. No, go see this one. It's rough. Will. It's a rough movie, but it's also a well put together movie. It's a tight movie. Who all's in it? It's like Sissy Spacek, Nancy Allen, who I love, William John Travolta.
I don't have a ton of the actors' names here.
The one who married Spielberg was in it. Can't remember her name.
I do apologize. I missed one here, Bill. Went back and actually Stephen McQueen reminded me in the chats I missed Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Yeah, Poltergeist.
Yeah, this is
strange and creepy happenings beset an average California family. Craig T. Nelson, Jo Beth Williams, and their teenage daughter Dominic Dunn Also, their 8-year-old daughter, no, their son Robbie Oliver Robbins, and their 5-year-old daughter Carol Ann, played by Heather O'Rourke. Uh, Initially friendly and playful, the spirits turn unexpectedly menacing, and when Carol Ann goes missing, Steve and Diana turn to a parapsychologist and eventually an exorcist for help. Released June 4th, 1982. Our second Toby Hooper movie. Stars, I mentioned all the stars. Screenplay by Steven Spielberg. Budget of $10.7 million, and they brought in $121 million at the box office.
Yeah.
I just watched this last night. Great movie.
Yeah.
A little cheesy.
Toby Hooper's kind of a cheesy director, though, to be honest with you. Like, he's not great. But I guess with, like, Spielberg kind of over his shoulder, maybe it was a little tighter. I thought it was a pretty tight movie for his his collection of films. It was scary. I remember everybody was. This was like it was similar to the Freddy Krueger. I think was this one before Nightmare on Elm Street? Because everybody would talk about the clown doll.
Let's see. Poltergeist was released June 4th, 1982, and Nightmare on Elm Street was 1984.
Yeah, it makes sense because I was younger, and I was like, okay, everybody was telling me about this killer clown, and I'd see these little clown dolls. I don't know why in the 80s we had all these stupid fucking clown dolls. There were millions of them. Everybody liked to have clown dolls. So, I mean, it's great. It's like, what could we do to scare the shit out of people? Let's take this thing that's everywhere and turn it into a monster. I mean, it's brilliant. It's like what they do in horror movies when they try to make the trees scary. It's like, oh no, I can't even go outside now. The tree's going to rape me. Thanks, Sam Raimi. Awesome.
All right. The last movie on our list, and then we'll get into the bracket, and then I'll explain all the how to win and all that stuff again. Dawn of the Dead. Do I need to explain this?
No, it's the greatest movie ever.
Directed by George Romero, released May 24th, 1979, starring David M.G. Ken Foree, Scott Reininger, Galen Ross. Box office of $66 million with only a budget of $640,000. 4 official sequels, beginning with 1985's Day of the Dead. There was a separate series of unofficial Italian-made sequels, beginning with 1979 Zombie 2. It also inspired a 2004 remake directed by Zack Snyder, numerous parodies, as well as pop culture references, in a lot of things.
It was commentary on politics. That's a smart movie. It's the sequel to Night of the Living Dead, which was a pretty smart movie in itself of what it was trying to do. So they were like, well, let's go bigger. And they got this mall in Monroeville, which I remember going to as a kid and being so happy. My wife and I actually went back to Pittsburgh not too long ago to sort of go through some of those places. And damn mall. I haven't been there lately. Maybe they knocked it down. But it looked like, is it? Yeah, I mean, it looked just like the movie. And it was a movie about politics. It was a movie about consumerism, capitalism. It was all these things tucked into a zombie movie.
Is this a sequel to Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
It is?
As far as I know.
Actually, if you go to, there's a really cool convention in Pennsylvania out in Monroeville. It's called the Steel City Con. It's right next door to that Monroeville Mall. Yeah. It's really neat.
Yeah, that's a great movie. It's got Sam Raimi. Tom Savini did all the makeup in it. And we love Tom Savini because he's done like the makeup for all the great horror movies that we've, grown up watching. He made the Jason with the hockey mask. It was his design. So he's all over this movie. He did all the special effects, and he was one of the bikers, right? I mean, it's a killer movie. It's like, it starts out, I know we're getting to the end of the show. I shouldn't spend too much time on it, but it starts out, they're all like, there's a zombie outbreak. What the hell do we do? It's like, it's interesting to watch what people do when nobody's prepared. Kind of like COVID. So you got to see, like, everybody starts to, like, scramble. They're all picking their teams. And they're trying to get away, and some are helping each other, and some are just, like, just run, just like every man for themselves. And then they get into this helicopter. I love that they say all the things like, we're flying through Harrisburg because that's my neighborhood. I'm like, yay, they mentioned my region. And then they land into a mall. And they're like, we have a whole new life. We can start here. We have everything we want in the mall until the zombies get in. But like, it's a fascinating idea. And it's so much fun. I don't care about the remakes. People like them. Nothing's better than the first one.
So I've seen this a long time ago, and I'm going to question you again. You said that this is a remake to Night of the Living Dead.
This is a sequel to Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. Sequel. So if it's a sequel, why don't they know how to, like, this is many years later. Why are they still like scrambling to figure out how to deal with zombies?
It's not many years later. They sort of imply that it's like just happening. Because when it starts, you see the news company, right? The broadcast news, they're running around with their hair on fire. They're like, what do we do? Nobody knows. So that's part of the terror.
Okay.
Then after it came...
I believe you. This time.
You better fucking believe me. So there was Night of the Living Dead, then there was Dawn of the Dead, then there was Day of the Dead, which is also very good. And then Land of the Dead, right? Mm-hmm. Which wasn't very good because I remember, I got a good story about Land of the Dead. I'm going to have to save that for another episode. I'm going to stop that there. You got to remember to write that, whatever you're fucking writing down, write down Bill's story. Bill's story about
All right, Bill's story.
Land of the Dead. Yeah.
Land of the Dead. All right. Now, our bracket. High-tech stuff here.
You wrote it on paper.
Written 1 minute before we went live. We're going to break down the bracket here. And if you're just joining us now, you can win. I got 2 things that you can win here. And you have to get the bracket exactly the same as Bill. And we'll be voting on our Facebook group, Instagram, and Twitter all week. You can win Darcy the Male Girl action figure.
And her iguana.
And her iguana, yeah. Ernie. Forgot about Ernie. Can't forget Ernie. And Elvira, an Elvira keychain from Funko Pops. All right. So, Bill, let's break this down.
All right.
The Exorcist versus Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
All right. Dawn of the Dead. Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus It.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right. So that'll be that. All right. So The Shining versus Poltergeist.
Ooh. I mean, one is clearly a better movie, but the other one is awfully memorable. All right, I'm gonna have to go with The Shining.
The Shining. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, Steven Spielberg. You didn't get picked. How's it feel?
All right. Friday the 13th versus Alien.
Another goddamn hard one. Slightly more with Friday the 13th on that one.
F-13. All right. Next up, Evil Dead versus Jaws.
Okay, Jaws.
Jaws.
Jaws is gonna swim away with it. That was my
see
fake
that
drums.
coming. Next up, Nightmare on Elm Street versus The Thing.
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's too bad.
Nightmare?
The Thing, yeah, that could have survived a round or two, but not against Freddy.
All right, Nightmare.
He's too damn fun.
No, I'll try and go back and watch that. Remember, if you're following along with the show the last few weeks, we've found out that Bill likes fantasy world. He likes make believe. I like real life stuff. Black Christmas versus The Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
All right. ED2. Next up, Carrie versus Halloween.
Oh, geez, that's like, that's Sophie's choice. All right, I'll have to go with Halloween.
All right. Halloween. All right. Next up, this is going to start getting hard here, Bill. Dawn of the Dead versus the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, shit. All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Great movie. Maybe an accidental hit. Everything just kind of came together. Worked. created something terrifying. Dawn of the Dead is genius. Dawn of the Dead is the winner of this one. I had to think through this one.
You did.
Sorry.
I like how you.
These are going to get tough.
I like how you broke that down in your head. All right. Next up, Jaws versus Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. Jaws versus Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. That damn shark made lots of people not go into the ocean. Everybody knows Jaws. But then again, everybody knows Freddy. However, it took a while for everybody to know Freddy. Freddy needed 18 bazillion sequels until everybody knew his name. Everybody knew Jaws' name from the first movie. The winner is Jaws. Jaws, everybody.
Jaws? All right. Jaws takes that home. All right, next up, Evil Dead 2 versus Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween for you. Look at this. All right.
And that's only the only reason I know that is we're getting to my top 5, and I've already done this calculation a million times in my head. What is my top 5 in order? Yeah, this is what I do to go to sleep. I'm a nerd.
You break down movies?
Yeah. I rewrite my top 5 list. Okay, it's time to go to bed. Let's start number 5. I pick
The Shining versus Friday the 13th.
All right. Because Jason's not in the first Friday the 13th, except for that last minute, hey, have the guy jump out of the water and lose our entire rights to fuck you, Victor Miller. I'm going to have to go with the contender on this one.
The Shining.
The Shining, yeah.
Bill's pushing The Shining through. All right. It's going to get really hard here, Bill. Jaws versus Halloween.
Oh, I knew this was going to be the one, man. This is hard. That is hard. For me, just for me, not for you, not for anybody out there. Me. For me, it's barely Halloween. Halloween, I think, is the best horror movie ever made. There can't be any more on the list, right?
Dawn of the Dead.
Shit.
Versus The Shining.
Oh, both of them are the best movies ever made. Dawn of the Dead for me. Dawn of the Dead for me.
All right. Now, the final. Bill's top horror movie of all time.
Mine, not yours, mine. Nobody get mad. Just mine.
Well, unless you want to win the figures, it has to match.
All
so
right.
make sure, vote for these movies. If you want to win, you have to vote like this. Dawn of the Dead versus Halloween.
All right. Because I'm getting hungry again and my stomach's starting to growl. I'm going to have to choose fast, and Halloween is going to be the answer.
Halloween. The best horror movie ever made, as picked by Bill Sebald.
Yeah. Listen, it's okay to be wrong, but, get on board with me and be on the right side. There's the picture of the Halloween. There we go. This is like a perfectly produced show. I mean, we should be picked up and syndicated nationally. Is cable still a thing? We should be put on like one of those like Wayne's World cable channels. That's what we should be on.
I heard that a podcast just got picked up from Amazon Music. It's called I forget what it's called, but it's a podcast with famous people. I mean, we're not quite as famous as them. They sold theirs for 80 million. Like what do we need? I mean, I'll take like $50.
Fuck you. I'm taking 80 million. Listen, I ain't selling till I'm getting the best deal in town, sir. You start at the top, you work your way down. You go for the highest offer. You're doing it all wrong.
Support our show. All right, Bill. This has been fun, man. What do you think? Ready to wrap it up?
I'm ready to wrap it up. We did our second, almost. Oh no! I need 2 more minutes from everybody. Run through the list. Show me what was on the list that didn't get more than 1 vote.
Oh, all right. Give me 1 second. Keep do our plugs a little bit.
Da, 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 da. Hey everybody! Make sure you check us out on Deluxe Edition Pod. That's you can do that on Instagram and you can do that on Twitter. 1E for some fucking reason, because I guess there wasn't enough characters, right, Casey? So just to make things really hard, go to whatamaneuver.com, another word that's really hard to spell, and you'll find our swag there. See, we make it very tough to find our content. Very tough. Deluxeedition.show. Okay? Not .com, not .net, not .org. .show. We've made it very hard for you to find us. It's by design. We're trying to be different than everybody else. Yeah. All right. Did you get that list?
I did, Bill. Let's see. We got a few more comments here. Jason, don't worry. You don't have to write any of this down. We have, we'll post a link. There will be a bracket just like this that you can fill out, and you'll be able to take a screenshot of it, a photo of it, and send it to our Facebook group, Twitter, whatever. And just make sure that I get it. All right. Now I got to figure out how to get rid of this stuff.
The next time we go live, you just wait. You guys are in for a treat.
We keep getting better.
We get better every time.
All right. Some of the movies here, Bill, which I was a little upset that some of these didn't make it, because some of these are some of my favorites. Hellraiser, Phantasm, Chopping Mall.
Oh God,
Army of Darkness.
Wait a minute. Was the question the best horror movies?
Yeah.
Somebody picked Chopping Mall?
Yeah, somebody got Chopping Mall.
If you guys haven't seen Chopping Mall, you got to go see Chopping Mall. Just take it from me and whoever voted for it.
Let's see. 28 Days Later, Silence of the Lambs, Night of the Living Dead, The Fog, Scream. Let's see. The Wolfman, the original Wolfman, 1941. Creature from the Black Lagoon. The Shine. Yeah, we talked about The Shining. Psycho. Let's see. The Strangers. That's a good one. You ever see that, Bill?
No. Seems too real. Yeah, I think I did see that one. Doesn't that one have an ending that's like very not happy? Real. Yeah. No, stay away from that.
Very real. The Blob. We talked about The Blob before. They filmed that down in Phoenixville. A lot of that. A couple of the other Friday the 13th made it on. People voted for this stuff. The Lost Boys. Unfortunately, whoever brought that up, Jason, they were on the... People did get it in there, but not enough votes for it. The Amityville Horror is on there. My Bloody Valentine. You like My Bloody Valentine?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
That's a good one. Actually, I actually put money towards this. They're making a fan film. It's like a fan film sequel to it. That's coming out pretty soon. Looks really good. Pieces, Dreamcatcher, Sleepaway Camp. You like that one, Bill?
Sleepaway Camp, I love. Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what that is.
I think somebody's fucking with us. Sleepaway Camp is great. Continue, sir.
I saw this in our comments earlier too. I forgot to click on it though. Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
You ever see that one? That's a good one.
I've seen, yeah.
The Serpent and the Rainbow. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I think it's a Wes Craven with Bill Pullman. Is any of that true? That just leaked right out of my mouth, and I have no idea if any of that's true.
And this is the one I was disappointed that didn't make the list. It was right. It was very close to making our list. Hatchet. You ever seen Hatchet, Bill?
Yeah, with Kane Hodder.
Yeah, you like that?
I was all right. It was a Kane Hodder kills everybody kind of movie.
I love it.
I guess in lieu of getting any new Friday the 13th, so I guess it was a good one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I really like that.
How many did they make? They have a Hatchet 2.
3. Nah, 4.
3?
I think 4, yeah. 4 total, I think.
All right, those were good ones too.
Yeah. The Nun is on there. The Collector. Yeah.
I never heard of those. All right, well.
Great movie. Yeah, great movie, bud. Great show, bud.
Great movie, everybody. Oh, we're clearly getting punchy. All right, well, we don't have any music to play us out.
Yeah, unfortunately, StreamYard, if you're listening, please add so that we can play music at the end here.
I wish I had a kazoo.
All right. Goodbye.